All right, fam. So look, we got to pick this apart. So I'm pretty sure everybody know what's going on with Fat Joe. You know, he went on the Math Hoffa podcast. My expert opinion, and you know his true colors came all the way out. A lot of us already knew how Fat Joe was already. You know what I mean? But I guess he got to the point he had enough, and he finally said something directly to us, FBA. And yeah, everybody in that little barbershop was laughing. Come to find out, Math Hoffa is not FBA. So that explains a lot, like why he was over there laughing at the disrespect. And then, you know, Fat Joe also throwing shots at our brother Lord Jamal. Like, it's a lot. But Akademiks, he catches wind and he reacts to it. And you know, Akademiks is not FBA also. Come to find out, as I think about it, most of these platforms that's like reporting and making money off our culture, they're not even from our lineage. Vlad, Adam 22, no jumper, right? My expert opinion, Math Hoffa, he's what, Trinidadian or some shit. Then you got all these other ones running around. Then you got Akademiks, he's Jamaican. Like, yeah, man, we need to really like change this up for 2025. But yeah, I want y'all to check out what Akademiks got to say. He says a lot of real shit, but then he's still doing that tethering shit and trying to add his people in with us and trying to make it look like, yeah, they had a hand also in creating hip hop. Yeah, Puerto Ricans didn't, but Jamaicans, Africans, and Haitians, they did though. Like, what? I want y'all to check this bullshit out. Let's go.
What?
Okay. Pretendian FBA woman to leave Burna Boy. What the fuck?
I want a man from America, and that's it. Because I know he's from a chosen bloodline just like me. I'm sorry, and that's it, and that's all. I don't care if
what type of Lion King shit these niggas be on? We are FBA. Yo, hold on. Hey, did y'all see this? Yo, Fat Joe beefing with the whole FBA. I know what FBA stand for Foundational Black Americans. Here we go. Fat Joe FBA. So let me give you the breakdown real quick, right? So, and yo, Tariq, you my guy. I fuck with you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what's so funny about this FBA movement? You know when they try to box people, like, you know. So here's my thing on FBA. I'll give my whole thing. Yo, bro, we're all black people. We should celebrate and be inclusive of black immigrants, just like FBA.
So what we not gonna do, and I promise y'all, I'm not gonna keep interrupting the footage, whatever, right? But I gotta say this: why we gotta be the ones to include everybody else? Why we gotta be all inclusive? We're not coming to y'all like, yo, include us in the shit y'all got going on. But it always come back to us. We got to embrace everybody. We got to include everybody. We are all black. Why the fuck we all black now? We're the only ones that fought, bled. Damn it, we have been lynched, enslaved. We went through the worst for centuries for this black shit. Y'all haven't. Y'all always separate yourselves. So why we got to include everybody? That's like, all right, so that means that we can go over to your island and be like, yeah, include us in your reggae shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Include us in whatever y'all got going on. And y'all got to include us? No, bro. That's not how this shit work. And I promise I'm not going to keep interrupting. What I am going to do, every time this tether start tethering, I'm going to add a certain sound effect. That's all. You know what I mean? But let's get into it, though. I had to say that, though. Let's go.
FBA. So FBAs are foundational black Americans, which means you could trace your lineage back to slavery within the United States, okay? Which means your lineage got brought over here by colonizers, damn it.
I know. I said I wasn't going to keep stopping it, but this nigga, I think they be doing this shit on purpose. Like, they'll say some real shit, and then they'll throw in some bullshit with it. They'll spin it. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't mean our fucking DNA or our lineage was brought over here by colonizers. Majority of us was already here. You understand? It means that we built this fucking country from the ground up. Our ancestors. There wasn't an America before us. You understand? We was already here. And then later on, they brought a few, like, Africans over here, and then we all blended in together. You understand? That's all it means, that we're the foundation of this fucking country, of America. Without us, there's no America. It don't mean nothing about no colonizers bringing our lineage over here, some bullshit, whatever you just said, bro. Stop that bullshit. I promise y'all, I'm not gonna keep stopping it, though. I'm just throwing this little sound effect. And I'm gonna see if y'all catch on to the bullshit yourselves. Let's go.
Right? Now, obviously, I'm a first generation American, if you don't know. I came over here when I was like 10, right? I was born in Jamaica. Like, my whole lineage is in Jamaica. Now I'm a black guy. Like, me accomplishing my goals, I'm glad to wave the flag of saying I'm a black man doing this in America. For whatever reason, and I don't know if it's because of like this whole like movement to try to get, what do you call it again? Reparations. There's a movement that has separated black people where it's like, all right, man, all you Negroes who are immigrants or first generation or whatever, y'all ain't really black, or y'all ain't really like part of this real movement. And I'm like, what movement? They're like foundational black Americans. So they have essentially boxed out everybody, like people like me. And I don't really give a fuck, honestly. I think it does hurt black people as a whole when you have, okay, we have black people who are fighting not only oppression, but also trying to, you know, continue to strive and do things to not only promote equality, but to break down barriers. But then you have some people within the black community saying, nah, well, some of y'all we don't give a fuck about because y'all not foundationally black American. And for that, I look at it and I'm like, okay. Now, you know, I mean, I really just don't know what to say. It's like, wait, so some of y'all black people don't want to be cool with our type of black people? Because, you know, I come from Jamaica, which also has a ancestry that's also filled with slavery. You know, it was a colonial, it was a country that has a colonial past. Like, you know, the people that's on our currency in Jamaica, some of them were slaves that fought against and rebelled against slavery. But whatever, I get it. That's not America. These FBA dudes are saying, nah, fuck y'all. Y'all are tethers or y'all are whatever. We only care about like the foundationally black Americans. So for me, I used to think that was like their way of saying if reparations get given out, we shouldn't get none. I don't give a fuck about no reparations, and I don't know any Jamaicans, and I know a lot of Jamaicans who came over here. We're not here saying give us reparations. So if y'all just wanted to have the reparations pot, cool. But whatever. Like, I'm still black, and whether people like Tariq would want to box people like me out the paint, I support him and I love him, and I love people, everybody that's black. There's obviously some traditional traditions that are different. There's some cultural slight differences, but at the end of the day, we also got to think about the macro perspective. When we walk outside, they look at me as black, they look at Tariq as black, right? So I kind of look at it as a little bit divisive, but I'm not gonna knock him because maybe he has a goal, right? Now, what that has turned into is just like, I don't know, it's like really like, it's like classic, I won't call it racism, but it's what happens to make sure that the lower class don't get to fuck with the people in power. The way how you don't get the people who aren't in power to fuck with the people in power, you get them to fight with each other and focus on issues that have to do with each other rather than focus on the class that supposedly has put them there, right? You know, it's like the people who are leading, or who you think are Illuminati, or whoever the people in power in the United States, when it comes to people saying, well, this is unfair, you guys are getting A, B, C, and D, and this is why, you know, I hope I'm not being scatterbrained. I want to be very concise in what I'm saying. But even like this whole thing about the United Health CEO getting killed, the people who are billionaires in this country and the people who with real power never want the people who are poor to focus on them and say, the reason why we're not getting where we need to go is because of them.
So hold on, let me cut this right here real quick. I gotta say this because I don't want y'all to think all this babbling he's doing, he's saying some real shit, because he's not. He's basically doing what white supremacists do, right? You know how white supremacists come around us and be like, hey, yeah, I'm a white nationalist or whatever, but we got the same enemy. It's a certain group of white people that wear the little hats. Wink, wink. We should like go against them together. They are the ones that's keeping all of us suppressed. And we're like, no, all of y'all are white supremacists. Y'all both have anti-black hatred views. So it's fuck you both. All of y'all white supremacists, we're not about to separate this shit. So that's what Akademiks is doing right now, like playing hot potato. Like, yeah, okay, so yeah, we got tethers, y'all got tethers and stuff. We come over and leech off of y'all, but that's not the big problem. The big problem is the 1%, the Illuminati, the Masons, yada, yada, yada. We should come together and help each other and go against them. We already tried that, though. Pan-Africanism, civil rights, we fought to have y'all come over here and rock with us, and y'all gave us your ass to kiss. Yeah, we learned from that shit. We was like, nah, no more. We waking up. So it's like, fuck you and fuck the 1%. We're not about to keep backpedaling and keep reaching out and extending a hand to y'all. All y'all gonna do is just bite it at the end of the fucking day and stab us in the back. We learn from our mistakes for the last few generations. Nah, we not doing that no more. So yeah, fuck y'all, third world tethers, and fuck the elites. All right, let's carry on though.
If that was the case, people would storm Apple, they would storm Amazon, they would the real headquarters, they would attack the people with the real power. But instead, that doesn't happen. You know what happens? Infighting and just divisive shit that never ever boils up to the people with the power.
You do know that we know that you're friends with Myron Gaines. That's just one red flag, but that's a major red flag. You're best friends with a Sudanese African that hates and despises and envy and is jealous of black Americans. All day, all night, all he do is troll and talk shit about us. Slander us, call us out our name. If he could, he would bleach his skin so he can be white. Yeah, Myron Gaines, that's your buddy. Y'all sit around cracking jokes, talking shit about us together. So don't try to act like, yo, no, we should all work together, yada, yada. And you are best friends with an anti-black, hatred-ass Sudanese African, a little musty tether. You feel me? We got to judge you how it is. Birds of a feather flock together, right? So if you rocking with somebody like that, maybe because you agree with some of the shit he be saying about us. All right, let's keep going though.
So my theory is that the people with the power need to create division among the people that don't have the power, that they could never band together and come for them. So when I see the FBA shit, it's kind of like little, like, again, brother, if y'all just say, oh, well, if reparations get given out, it should just be given to us, but we're all black people. I'm like, all right, whatever. Bro, I don't think no Jamaicans coming over here like, give us money for slavery in the United States. No. But this FBA movement has turned into, let's separate black people. You're not black enough. You aren't the black person who we represent. And fuck with Tariq a lot, but I can't tell if Tariq is doing that just to create a lane that he completely owns and is completely subservient to his, like, you know, ideas and ideology, or he really, like, that's what he's really standing on, because it doesn't seem to help black people as a whole. Anyway, I say all that to say, by the way, I interviewed Tariq Nasheed. And again, when he's talking all that FBA tether stuff, I don't get offended. Bro, I just don't get offended, right? But I don't know how beneficial it is. Anyway, I know you're probably saying, well, what the fuck got to do with Fat Joe? Apparently he had some comments at Fat Joe. I don't know what he said. Let me see if I can find it. Tariq Nasheed, Fat Joe. Let's look it up. Okay. All right, here we go.
Well, you said that Fat Joe is disrespectful for saying that blacks and Latinos created hip hop. 50-50. Did he actually say 50-50?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, that's just not true.
That's not true.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to Fat Joe, but yeah. I mean, Latinos were around, but you can't say 50-50.
Not at all. Not at all. You can't even say 90-10. I mean, they came later. In the movie, all the pioneers, they were like, yeah, when we were doing it, just were no Latinos participating. We had a couple in the audience watching, but they just came later. They just weren't into it early on. And that's the truth.
Yeah, and listen, you've had very prominent Latinos over the years. Crazy Legs, of course, Big Pun, and Fat Joe, and Cypress Hill, MC Frost. Like, there's been a lot of very important figures in hip hop. But I guess if you're talking about the original, then yeah, it was all black people.
Right, and the thing that's rubbing a lot of people the right way, there's this whole push just suddenly for there to be this co-creation. Because now hip hop is going to the Olympics, breakdancing is in the Olympics now, so now there's a big corporate drive and there's going to be a lot of corporate money there. So now hip hop and breakdancing and b-boying is looked at as a positive. When black people were just doing it, it was like, oh, look at those Negroes on the floor. What are they doing? That's not real dancing. That's not real music. But now that it's being internationally accepted, they have to say, well, black people didn't really do it on their own. So they're doing hip hop like they do other genres. They do the same thing with rock and roll. It was negative until white people did it, and then rock and roll is a white thing. Country music, our sister Beyonce has a hot country album out now, and they're making it seem like she's co-opting somebody else's culture. Country music comes out of foundational Black American culture. So what happens is we let people come in and just take the culture and then turn us into guests in the culture, because that's what they're trying to do with the whole Latin situation. They want to go from Latinos were 50-50 to Latinos actually created breakdancing and black folks got it from them. That's where it's going. And that's where a lot of people are like, hey, let's put a time.
Now, okay. And I think this is a little bit apart from the FBA shit. Me particularly, and again, I don't really give a fuck to be on sides. I just try to speak how I feel. If Latinos want me to believe that they created hip hop, fuck out of here. So I'm gonna agree with Tariq Nasheed. I don't think they did at all. I'm sorry. Like I think the roots of what hip hop is really rooted in obviously Black American, but African and specifically Islander Black Islander culture, for example, Jamaicans, right? I think, again, I don't want to just be like biased in terms because I know I'm Jamaican. I want to be like, I feel like Jamaicans have more claim to try to say they influenced the first, spark of that origin of hip hop more than Latinos do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if anything, I know disrespect to Latinos, but it's like, bruv, with all due respect to y'all, we seen y'all creativity. Y'all reggaeton is a ripoff of reggae, and y'all took this part of it and made an entire genre. I'm sorry, we're not giving you the credit for creating shit after that. I'm sorry to tell y'all. Okay, so I don't like to agree with some divisive shit, but I don't know if Fat Joe was saying that. But Latinos ain't create a motherfucking thing when it comes to hip hop. Cut that the fuck out. What the hell? Like, I'm sorry to tell y'all, what the fuck? Latinos ain't creating nothing. Yo, I love my Latin people, but y'all know reggaeton is a real ripoff of what niggas is doing, and I refuse to believe that y'all created hip hop or did anything that was really influential in the origin. Now, have y'all did things that have helped advance it? Of course, I would never say that. But to create it, come the fuck on. Come on. Stop it.
Time out on this and back it up and tell the truth.
Somebody say they didn't borrow from reggae? Nigga, reggaeton didn't borrow from reggae? Are you out of your fucking mind? You know the whole pattern of the beat, like the core structure. There's been lawsuits about this. It's based on one song. There's one reggae song that the whole reggaeton subgenre was created using basically the skeleton of that beat. Cut it out. I don't want to sit here and argue with y'all. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that breakdance.
Listen, Ain't no niggas coming over here saying that they influence salsa and merengue, okay? If there is, I'll tell them to shut the fuck up too. But let's just call a spade a spade. Us niggas ain't saying we invented salsa, merengue, and bachata. I don't want to hear motherfucking my Puerto Rican brethren or my Dominican brethren coming over here and saying they invented reggae and they invented motherfucking hip hop. Stop it.
Dancing's in the Olympics. I fell in love with hip hop breakdancing in the 80s in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
And, but it seems like when you look at modern breakdancing, it's really run by the Asians now.
Yeah, a lot
the
of
Koreans, the Japanese, those are really in the forefront of breakdancing. So the fact that it's in the Olympics, I expect some Asian.
Yeah, Vlad, that doesn't matter though. Like, for example, reggae, the biggest connoisseurs of reggae these days are Asians as well, and also Eastern Europeans, because they have adopted reggae in its very original and primal form, and they just replicate that. So when people think about how reggae has progressed, they're like, who's keeping it still authentic and still like back to what it started from? It's gonna be the Asians. And if you ask a lot of Jamaican performers, they used to go to Asia and get paid a lot because the Asian marketplace, they appreciate the authenticity of it. But I've never heard Asians say they were connoisseurs. They never say that they were people who created. It seemed like they were just people who allowed, not necessarily copied, but they imitated to a certain extent, if you want me to say that.
With gold medals at this point.
Oh yeah. Because you had people like Poppin' Pete and Boogaloo Sam, some of these West Coast guys. They were over there in Asia for years, teaching them a lot of those hip hop moves. So the Asians are great students too.
Yeah. A$AP Rocky actually showed up at the premiere.
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
That's dope. Good
guy, real solid guy, real solid guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to play the whole thing. So let's get to what Fat Joe supposedly said. Here we go.
These rumors were made by radical black racists. Let's just say that.
Okay, let me stop it here. Do I think Tariq is a radical black racist? We got to be very careful with that, especially using the word racist when it comes to black people. Could black people be racist? Yes. Do I believe that Tariq is racist because he's doing this FBA thing? I think that's a stretch right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, there's every group that's very, like, they might be inclusive to a certain extent, but they're very protective of their group. Like Jewish people, they're very protective of their group. Could you call them that they're bigoted or racist because they protect their identity and they stand up? No, you would actually be seen as ridiculous. You'd be seen as an anti-Semite. So again, we have to be careful in labeling or throwing that label on even someone. Again, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he says, but Tariq Nasheed, black racist. Hold up, brother. Hold on, Fat Joe. Let me keep hearing.
Okay, it's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican. Don't want to hear Guyanese. They don't want to hear a black guy that ain't.
Here's the problem with what Fat Joe is saying. I agree with you because I am Jamaican. However, because Tariq Nasheed might have a different outlook on contributions in the United States, or even why maybe a person like me is here, I am black and he is black. That's not racism. Okay, that's not racism at all. Okay. Now, it's still an issue that's under the umbrella of where, there are systematic problems that have to do with culture, race, and tradition, but it's not racist, right? Again, he's not hating on being black, and that's what I look at racism to be.
Down with them,
right?
So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't Black American.
Jamaicans look just like Black Americans. I'm Jamaican. I look like Black Americans. Sorry. No. See, this is where I love Fat Joe, but y'all Puerto Rican and Cuban and Dominican niggas, don't lump yourself in with us Jamaicans. No. That's not what Tariq is saying. He's not. Again, his gripe with people who might be Jamaican or Trinidadian or Haitians isn't that we all look alike. Unless, tell me if Tariq has said otherwise. If he said otherwise, I'll get at him too. But no, that's not his issue. So that's the issue with people like Fat Joe. Because Fat Joe, who is Hispanic, there not only is a cultural difference, there's a phenotypical difference. You could tell a black person from a Puerto Rican dude, usually. Or someone who looks like Fat Joe.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say a name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean...
The FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is. I'm just keeping it a buck. And that shit is to attack everybody on Twitter. You see this nigga who run them? Like, your leader? Yo, man, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. And so they trying to change the narrative. They're not from New York.
Right.
So they telling a whole nother story. This was whoopity doop wop. Yo, bro. Far as I know, we're at Yankee Stadium right now, and it's HipHop's 50th birthday. And the guy who invented it, Grandmaster Flash, my brother carried his crates. My babysitters made up the...
Now, what Fat Joe is saying here is definitely factually correct. If we think about the lineage and how hip hop grew over time, it's impossible to say it without also acknowledging the contributions of people who were Latino, right? All the Latinos and Latinas, of course. For me, my only objection is to say that they started it. Like, yeah, of course. Like, black culture and Latin culture, Latino culture has been really intertwined, especially here in New York. But again, when we look at hip hop as a black art, we ain't gonna give the credit to a motherfucking Puerto Rican nigga to say he started it. Of course, did the Puerto Ricans and the culture that Puerto Ricans have brought influence it? Yes. But started it? Stop playing. Just like, it's like somebody tell me that reggae was started by a nigga in Puerto Rico. Like, nigga, I'll flip the fuck out, nigga. I can go J-Man on you. I bug the fuck up right now, nigga. Stop playing, nigga. I bug the fuck up. So, yeah.
Let me hear you say, ho. It's two girls, twins, used to babysit me. They made up, let me hear you say, ho. So they have a big problem, these guys, right? So they're against anybody who ain't with them. So this ain't a popular message. This ain't what everybody's saying. We might be giving them too much light right here is what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
So there's a small minority to get on them Twitters and they running it up. We got a fucking Looney Tune like your man Lord Jamal, who's a fucking Looney Tune. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's a loony bin, right? We just said that the drug of choice is attention. It's this and this and that. They get a guy who, he was a legend. He's brand Nubian.
Right.
And he's the wackest nigga in the crew, be clear.
Like in a Lord Jamar?
But now, this nigga might be like trying to get lit, trying to say anything. The world's flat, the this, that, anything to go viral.
Okay, that was one of those. I just told you I stopped my shit because I go too viral. I'm scared, I'm too viral.
Right. I think we in the information era. Some people just, they see so many paths, they decide to pick one, and some of them ain't the most popular one. So, they just...
But what I'm trying to tell you is that this opinion comes from a tribe.
Right.
It comes from a group of people that hate everybody but them. There's radical Jews, there's radical Catholics, there's radical Puerto Ricans.
Right.
There's radical anything. If you do enough of that shit, enough of in-house racism.
Now, I'll agree with that a little bit. I do think what Tariq is doing is that he's radicalizing some of what people who are cultural and black are feeling and being radical. It's like there are okay, so you have white people that might be racist. then you have like a radical group who feel like they have like this pure blood of like white ethnic Europeans that have blue eyes and blonde hair, and they don't even accept other white people, and they feel like everybody else is trying to taint them and like taint their bloodline. Yeah. I kind of do get that a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, you be tweaking, bro.
You wind up looking at the world fucked up and you can't even move around.
Right.
You understand? So that's how this shit come about. These guys don't like nobody but them. Hey, fuck that. This guy, why? How could he say this? How could he? Bro, have you been in my hood? Do you know where I'm from? You know, we did my brother's funerals. More black people than Spanish people at the funeral sitting next to my mother. Do you know where the fuck I'm from? But you trying to tell us what happened over here.
Tariq's live. Rock with Tariq, but like, Tariq gotta explain this a little bit. I'll go watch him.
Who was Puerto Rican and the whole crew was Big Pun. He took all his money. What's his name? Triple Safe. He's broke.
That's not Tariq, is it?
And his career had his face cut just because he was telling the truth about him.
Okay. If Tariq's speaking, let me know.
All the legends I know, when I go to the legendary shit, they're all black and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And I sit there with them and I'm like, and they don't believe it. They don't understand. They don't understand like that talk. They're like, yo, what the fuck is this about? Like, they're confused.
Now, one thing I'll say, and I hate to say, but we have to say, if we're talking about Puerto Rico or even Dominican Republic, these are two countries. And remember, I hate when people try to equate, like, being Puerto Rican to just being a race, right? Because people in Puerto Rico are different race, creeds, and everything else. Being Puerto Rican is not equivalent to being black, right? And when he's saying Puerto Ricans and black, I understand why some people might have like a issue with even accepting that, because here's the thing. You know what's really popping right now in Puerto Rico is Latin music, where Bad Bunny and all these people are thriving from, where we're talking about Anuel and all these people. Number one, it's super colorist. It's super colorist. Colorism, I always say, like, you know, in America, we care so much about racism because that's the biggest thing. In countries where people look a little bit more similar and there's not hard race lines, there's colorism. Like, for example, in Jamaica, there's colorism. We're all black people in Jamaica, but now the lighter you are, it's seen like you're better. And the reason why I bring that up with, like, Puerto Rico is, like, they'll be damned if they had to give credit for what they got going on now with, like, Latin music in the sense of Bad Bunny and Anuel to somebody who was super dark skinned or somebody who was not from Puerto Rico. So, of course, you know, again, as much as I agree with Fat Joe a lot, yeah, I'm not mad at you getting checked a little bit, because Puerto Ricans ain't gonna, you think Puerto Ricans gonna let some random nigga from the US saying that they're the one, nigga, they won't even give credit to, like, obviously, there's no, you know, if you really know the history, there's no direct lineage, but nigga, even though he's Hispanic too, you think they're gonna be like, oh, the reason why we get a Bad Bunny being accepted by the United States and others is because a nigga like Nori paved the way? No. Like, they look at their shit as solely Latino and solely from their country, and they ain't trying to share no fucking credit. So why the hell, when we talk about hip-hop, we gotta be talking about what y'all Puerto Rican niggas did? Let niggas have their shit just like y'all have y'all shit. You know what I mean? Have y'all been influential? Of course.
The pioneers, the Grandmaster Flashes, the Cool Hercs, the Melly Mel's, they're like, yo, we don't know what the fuck these people talking about. Because they on Twitter and they doing a little something, but I don't know what the fuck these people doing. Like, they confused. They fucked with the wrong nigga. That's the problem. Fat Joe the wrong one. He always been the wrong one. He the Achilles of the shit. He gonna come out with that. So you remember Achilles? They wait for the nigga. Is he coming out? Is he coming out? Achilles run out with the sword. Oh my God!
And you know, with all due respect to even Fat Joe, and I know he's, you know, I guess he's Puerto Rican or whatever. Yeah, let me tell you this, man. Like, these days, Dominican music is popping. You know, 6ix9ine went down there and he's fucking with all the Dominican like vibes and everything like that. You know, shout out to all the Dominican artists. You know, Rochi and all these other people. Like, shout out to all them, but like, bro, Dominican Republic is the most racist island, period, my nigga. They share a fucking, they share a landmass with Haiti, and they fucking hate Haitians, my nigga. You ever went to Dominican Republic? They treat Haitians like it's like the aliens, my nigga. Like, if there's a darker skinned guy who is a Haitian guy that happens, they almost ridicule that person. Like, racism is on another level. in a smaller place, Dominican Republic, and I don't care what none of y'all say. I've seen it myself. The people who are Dominican do not fuck with Haitians. They look at them as lower class, dark skin, weird motherfuckers. That's a fact. So again, it's like, bro, like, and put like this, a Haitian would completely fit in the United States with African Americans, just like an African does. So when you see that, we also got to talk about that, which that doesn't get talked about enough, right? Because them Dominicans, they do not want to be linked with Haitians, bro. And they share a country with them niggas. Or share a landmass with them. They don't want to be linked with them niggas. So all that shit, like, alright, when Haitians get, you know, well, obviously they're not trying to do it compa. Like, if you don't compa, compa is a Haitian music. They're not trying to do it compa, but it's like, bro, like, I don't fuck with Haitians like that. But like, Haitians, like, when I look at hip-hop to me, we have African, Haitian, Jamaican. We have a lot of black traditionalist countries into it. When I hear like a Puerto Rican nigga jumping in this shit, I'm like, nigga, this ain't no fucking merengue, nigga. Get the fuck on out of here, nigga. No respect. But like, on some real shit. So like, I'm sorry. Y'all do the Haitians, I'm sorry. Obviously, he's not Dominican. Dominicans do Haitians crazy. I'm sorry. They do them crazy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I'm a Jamaican. We look like Haitians, bro. If you're African, you look like Haitians. So when you see how they're treated over there, like, whatever Fat Joe be talking about, man, pipe down, nigga. Like, we not running over there to try to claim what y'all and Ozuna and J Balvin got going on, nigga. So y'all do y'all thing over there, nigga, and claim what y'all claim, but don't try to come over here like y'all made hip-hop, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. I'm sorry.
They fucked with him. They got him about the tech. This nigga, yeah, they got, yo, this is wrong nigga. He don't care.
Now, even when me saying all that, I do think FBA is a little bit divisive. Okay, all right, cool. Let me see. What's
Roots in particular? What y'all did was some historic stuff, family. Getting on code and making the Democrats crash and burn after they done spent billions of dollars.
Yo, y'all go to Tariq's page, man. Tell Tariq I rock with him. But tell Tariq, man, listen, we gotta be together, man. I'm Jamaican. I'm very proud to be Jamaican. You know, I never, ever disown the fact that I'm Jamaican, and I understand I really feel foundational black Americans need a hug. Because, again, I understand it. Immigrants come over here, y'all have done all the work and built a lot of shit, and we come over here and we are enjoying it. I get that. And we want to salute y'all. And also, like, when it comes to, like, reparations, I understand why it might be like, yo, now I might be like, you rich already, so you don't need it anyway. But it's like, I understand why it might be like, yo, an immigrant from Jamaica at this point shouldn't be included if reparations are given. I actually even understand that. I understand the FBA in that type of way. But I do believe that, you know, us, whether we're Jamaican immigrants, whether we're African immigrants, shout out to my people from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Liberia, South Africa, shout out to my people from Sudan, shout out to my people from Egypt, shout out to, like, there's so many great countries that they come over here and they do amazing things. I feel like the FBA kind of like y'all be trying to make it seem like other black people y'all ops. Like, that sounds kind of crazy. Anyway, I won't get too much into that. All right. Cool. That was Fat Joe saying. Fat Joe, I'm disagreeing with you. I do think people like Tariq, and I hate to say like, but I do think he's kind of separating people a bit. But I'm not gonna knock some of the points he has, and we gotta find middle ground, right? But I will say, you know, with all due respect to somebody like Fat Joe, bruh, there's so much division within black people that when you start talking about Puerto Ricans and shit like that, we just looking at you like, my nigga, like, we still don't even... Bro, they got FBA's beefing with Jamaicans, my nigga. Like, bro, we don't give a fuck about no Puerto Ricans right now, nigga. The fuck? Like, yeah, you can't have an FBA looking at somebody who came from Nigeria, nigga, with nothing and made something, and they're looking at them as the ops. So again, with all due respect, you know, I would say to Fat Joe, just chill off on the side till, you know, the core politics figure itself out. And the core politics is black people as a whole. And yes, there's black people in what do you call it again? Puerto Rico, but these other countries who historically has fought those battles. For example, the entire Africa, you know, continent, and a lot of these countries, whether in the Caribbean or otherwise, we should probably think about that first. All right, let's not get too much into all that stuff. Shots of, yo, my nigga Burner really fucking this nigga girl, man, isn't it?
Niggas smoke blunts, they was smoking on J's, and you either had a curl or a part in your fade. Yeah, I'm an 80s baby, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. I'm an 80s baby. Take a trip down memory lane, buckle up, now let's ride. Yo, I'm an 80s baby, 86, 87, 88, 89. Yo, I'm an 80s baby. Take a trip down memory lane, buckle up, now let's ride. Ride with remember Shell to Adidas and British Knights. And then Jordan came out and took flight. Playing Mario Brothers and Excite Bite. Double dribble was my game, yeah, the kid was nice. Give me 5 up high on the backhand side. Slick Rick was the shit with the pats on his eye. And ladies love Cool James, he was rocking bells.